After you watch these videos for a while, you come to realize there's lots and lots of places in this country where black mob violence is a regular, predictable, frequent thing. And two of the places we saw that happen over the weekend were the BART train station in the San Francisco Bay Area, and down in Virginia Beach at Black College Beach weekend. But as people get more and more used to it, as people learn more and more about it, the people who live there, the people who experience it, they come up with new and stranger ways to be in denial, deceit, and delusion about it. Here we're going to have two examples of that right now. Out in the Bay Area, one of the compliant riders said there's really nothing we can do about it because that's just what the price you pay for living in an, quote, urban area. The one I enjoyed the most was down in Virginia Beach, where they did a story about whether, there's no question that the Black College Beach weekend in Virginia Beach is a violent thing with lots of bad business happening on lots of different levels there. But now the question is this. I mean, isn't it kind of obvious that the cops are causing this enormous amount of black violence?
JR, BART police say the victim declined to provide much of a description of the suspects except that they are minors. He says around 11 o'clock last night, a group of 6 teens approached him and then forcibly removed 2 phones from him. He was on a Warm Springs bound train at Lake Merritt Station when this happened. Tonight, the suspects remain at large and presumably the robbery would have been caught on surveillance cameras. So BART police are looking into that. We're seeing cell phone robberies pretty regularly on BART. We have seen it at this station or at the Lake Merritt station before within just the last 6 months. And of course, one of the biggest incidents or robberies on BART happened last April when a mob of about 40 to 60 teens robbed several passengers, taking their phones. We spoke with riders at Lake Merritt station. Some say they take extra precautions, but that they still feel safe. And others tell me this is really opening their eyes.
Just another reason to try to be as aware as I can. And for someone like me, a queer person of color, I always travel with a companion, especially if I'm coming outside of San Francisco to Oakland as much as I can, just to sort of lessen the likelihood of this happening.
It's urban living. You have to be aware of your environment and be cautious, of course, but be smart. I keep my purse under my arm, and you don't carry a lot of valuables. You don't, flash your jewels.
There was a bit of chaos just now, but before that, crews were already cleaning up. People are heading home now. Traffic's picking up as people are starting to leave. I talked to some people here for College Beach weekend, and they say that they're torn on whether or not the large police presence was a good thing. Some people here for College Beach weekend say they don't like the negative connotation that comes with the show of force, especially as far as the black community is concerned.
Yeah, we're all about fun and stuff like that, but we can also be responsible and respectful at the same time.
Abai says he and his friends are just here to have a good time without any problems. Several people who have attended Beach Weekend for years say they noticed a big increase in the police presence this year.
Yeah, I think people are more under control with all the police, so I can't complain saying there is too much. But at the same time, I think there is because there's just an overwhelming amount, especially at night, especially on each corner. But during the day, I think it's definitely good.
But they say too many cops on the streets can also come off the wrong way.
I mean, some might see too much police authority as like a threat and feel the need to act out.
I'm told the interactions with police haven't all been bad.
The police, they were being very respectful, fun, they were talking to us, and they were being very interactive. I think that's them being interactive rather than just always disciplining. That's what makes it so, you feel a closer bond, so to speak.
And that the vibe overall is calmer than previous years.
Yeah, it's definitely less wild, but I think it's what people need. Like, as far as like this, I think it needs to settle down first before people end up doing too much.
The people at BART showed their true colors last year when the woman even mentioned it. She mentioned the 40 to 60 teens. The real story is 40 to 60 to 80 black people rampaged through a BART station, beating the hell out of passengers, robbing people, etc., etc. But they have hundreds and hundreds of cameras all over all these BART stations. It wasn't until a few weeks later when the vice president of BART wrote a letter to a member of the BART board of directors saying, oh yeah, we have videos of that, but we're not going to release them because that would be too embarrassing to black people. And we don't want our executive director to be getting phone calls from people who are saying, hey, why is black criminality so wildly out of proportion on the BART? Why aren't you doing anything about it? Remember, this is the same kind of world that makes an international news story about two black people going into a Starbucks with their own water, wanting to use the Starbucks bathroom, refusing lawful requests to leave. That's a major international story. But black people creating black mob violence on a scale that is wildly out of proportion, well, that's just something that we just cannot do anything about, or something the cops are causing. Pick one or the other. Neither one is really going to get the black kids angry.